Gavin Newsom's explanation of what Trump is doing, actually creating the mayhem, causing the problems, escalating all the trouble, is close to irresistible. 8 minutes after 11 is the time. More of your calls on this, please. Theo is in Crouch End. Theo, what made you pick up the phone?
Good morning. So, as you know, I'm a journalist. I work in Kyiv, usually. I'm in London now. I'm also an ex-police officer.
I didn't know that.
So I've got another perspective on this from being on the other side of those lines, although I was never at a public order event like that. And I watched the attack on the Australian broadcaster Lauren Tomasi, who was shot with a rubber bullet by the LAPD live on air.
Yes.
And
that was, I mean, we should stress that was by the LAPD, not by the National Guard. So that was by the people that Donald Trump claims aren't doing anything.
Yeah. And it was so obvious what she was doing. She's there doing a piece to camera, holding the microphone, and you can see the moment she gets shot, you can see the officer that does it take aim quite clearly and fire. I don't know if bemused is the right word. Bemused, angry, shocked. I hope he faces a deeply unpleasant disciplinary panel soon, but given the state of everything in the States, I doubt it.
Bemused, angry, shocked because of where it's happening, not because of what's happening, because we know that journalists get targeted by authorities in certain types of country and in certain moments. We didn't think that this was that country or indeed this moment.
No, but it is becoming that. And I'm reading Timothy Schneider, who, if you want to understand tyranny, read him.
But again, we're throwing that word away, Theo. I mean, I have read some Timothy Snyder, and he is brilliant on this, but he doesn't throw the word away. He's sounding clarion calls, he's sounding alarms, and yet we sit here and we say tyranny as if it were an established fact, or as if it were obvious. A lot of people listening to this are still going to be balking at the use of the word tyranny, or the use of the word fascist, or even the use of the word authoritarian, and you begin to wonder what more evidence they need.
Well, it's en route. When the authorities start shooting at journalists, even with less than lethal, rubber bullets, etc., there's a very, very clear sign. When the language becomes, more and more. I mean, read what Trump's saying.
Yes.
I'm going to ban masks. They are. I think he likes to call Newsom new scum.
Yeah. And yet ABC, as you know, have just suspended a journalist for saying that him and Stephen Miller are haters, are full of hate. So ABC suspend a journalist for saying that the president who describes the democratically elected governor of California as new scum is full of hate. There's a failure of journalism going on here as well as a failure of democracy.
And it's obeying in advance.
So what's Trump's dream here? I mean, we may be overthinking things. He may just want to get through today with good TV ratings, but I suspect not. I suspect there is a master plan in play. What is it?
I'd say look to El Salvador, look to Bukele, look to Orban, look to Putin.
I want to be able to do whatever I want. Nobody is allowed to stop me, and the bit perhaps we've overlooked, nobody's even allowed to criticize me either while I'm doing it.
The very definition of tyranny. And it's about modern tyranny, as I'm going to quote Schneider again, is terror management. You create the conditions for exceptional things. And people have been mentioning Kristallnacht. I think the more accurate sort of Nazi comparison is the burning down of the Reichstag. An exceptional event, possibly, orchestrated by the Nazis themselves, that gave them the excuse to begin the enabling act and begin the rolling back of liberties and freedoms.
And crucially, the complete removal of any pretense of rule of law. So, you are now an alien. You are now illegal. Yeah. I don't care how long you've been here. I don't care what your family tree looks like. I don't care how much you've paid in tax. I don't care how intrinsic you are to the safe running of our society, or how wealthy you are, or who you are, or what you do. You're illegal, and we're going to kill you.
Yeah, it's pseudo-populism.
Pseudo-populism. Gosh, I'm going to write that down.
That's not mine again.
No, I hear you. I know. But then the final question, I suppose, becomes the one of how it stops, whether or not it can be. Because I know this is a little bit lazy, but sometimes I stumble across an insight, for want of a better word, that seems to me to do quite a lot of heavy lifting, because the protests are going to cause an escalation, and the failure to protest will cause an escalation. So what do you do?
You have to, I'm going to say this as an ex-police officer, get out there and protest. And in every way you can struggle against this. Because
words like Reichstag, Kristallnacht are now relevant.
Yeah. And we desperately need to learn the lessons of our grandfathers in the rest of the world that have been through authoritarianism, been through terror, been through pogroms, and not let it happen. Because when democracy slips away, the only way you get it back, and we see this time and time again, is through either an exceptional regime change or through exceptional amounts of bloodshed.
When are you back to Kyiv?
Depending on the financials.
Sure.
July, I'm hoping to join a convoy from Estonia and do an interview for my podcast in Estonia, and then go to Kyiv.
Well, good luck. Remind us how people can follow your work, or indeed help you do it.
So I have a Substack that's called Dictators v Democrats, and if I may, I'm gonna plug the podcast, which is out and new, called Dictators v Democrats, all on why we fight. And on that, I interview the people who are defending democracy, get their human story, why they do it, etc.
Well, you could be in Los Angeles after Kyiv, couldn't you, if things continue on this trajectory? Theo, thank you. Dictators versus Democracy, conceived as a title for a project when Putin went into Ukraine, but now, of course, a pertinent description of what perhaps we're watching happen in what's supposed to be our closest ally. It's 11:15.